So let's talk about upper body strengthening. In the prior videos, we talked about strengthening, how important it is to maintain our muscle strength, our muscle mass as we age. We lose it every decade as we get older. So maintaining that strength is really, really important, and it's something that really gets overlooked a lot. So trying to maintain that strength does not have to take a whole lot to do. You can be very creative with what you have. You can use simple equipment. So today we're going to talk about using bands, different types of bands and loops, and different types of exercise that can work to help strengthen your upper body. So it doesn't take a whole lot to do that. I think most people kind of understand, like working biceps, triceps. One thing people forget is kind of the upper back postural exercises to fix and work on strengthening the upper back and postural muscles so that we can maintain and hold our posture up a little bit better. So I'll do another video that talks about just postural exercises. But today I just wanted to go over a few simple exercises that you can do at home, anywhere you're at, with bands. So as we talked about in a prior video, we have different kinds of bands. So these are typical TheraBands, different resistance, different colors, indicates the different resistance and tension. But the nice part is that depending on how close you hold it, how much tension you hold on the band, you can use the same band for a long time and still get a pretty good and effective amount of resistance from it, just based on where you tie it off or how tight you hold it. So with the bands, you can do all kinds of different things with these. You can do single arm, double arm. If I stand on just the band here, I can work on bicep curls single arm if it's not long enough. If it's long enough, I can do both arms together. You can work on single arm here. I can flip this around and work on triceps going up this way next. Then I could tie this off in different areas as well. So you have bands for those options. You also have the tubing, which usually has handles on the ends that you can attach onto there. So I can use these anywhere, even if I don't want to use the handles. I can just use the bands here, and I can stand on this and work on the same thing with bicep curls this way. I can go into different arm motions with lateral raises, front raises. So it depends on the tension and the resistance that you're trying to do. So you can really work your shoulders completely with these bands depending on how you set them up. Again, I can stand on it and work on tricep extensions. I can work on shoulder press as well, just by changing the angle and changing the tension I'm having on there. And then, as I mentioned before in another prior video, is also the same type of tubing, but with the fabric coated. Then the other bands that you can work on is these loops. So these loops are also really great to use for shoulders. They do a great job for legs, which I'll talk about in another video. But just to work on your arms and shoulders, again, the more creative you are with them, you can pretty much do everything you need to. So I can put these around my wrists, and I can go out to the side this way to work the shoulders. Again, you're working the outside delts. You're working same muscles you're going to get from a lateral raise. You're just not going as far. I can come in front here and do almost what you would consider a reverse chest fly, where I'm working the upper back muscles as well as the outside of the shoulders. I can even come forward this way and try to get, again, some of the anterior delt and some other shoulder muscles that I would get in a front raise. So very similar type of exercise, just a different motion. I can hold them here and work on rotations and even a rowing retraction type of motion to work on the upper mid back as well. I could take my hands overhead and work out in different directions, different angles this way. Do one arm at a time. I can go behind me. I could even hold the one part and just work on single arm bicep curls as well. So there's a lot of versatility with these things. If you have somewhere that you can set these up, whether it's the bands like these, whether it's the tubing, if you have someplace that you can tie these off and do the same thing, I can now get real versatile and do different exercises here, either by doing rowing this way. If it's a high table leg or a bedpost or even a banister that you can tie it off of, you can do these. So for demonstration purposes, I'll show you a couple different exercises you can do with mine set up here. So one of the common exercises I do with a lot of shoulder patients is rowing, shoulder extensions, and then we work on some other chest muscles as well. But one of the common ones that I like to do is a row. Now, the difference with the row is most people do this wrong. In the gym, you'll see all kinds of compensation. Our upper body, when you're working your shoulders and upper body, lots of compensating muscles that will kick in when they don't need to. And that usually is going to incorporate your upper traps, some of the cervical muscles, the neck muscles around that area. They're going to kick in and want to help out because as our arms get tired, their job is to help out. But unfortunately, if we have the wrong form, they're kicking in way too quickly and too often. So rowing is one of the motions that does that very often. And if you look around most gyms, and you'll see a lot of people out there doing rows, lat pull downs, a lot of different shoulder exercise, and you'll see this happening all the time. Those muscles are not supposed to be kicking in unless you're doing a row or upright row, or if you're doing some type of shoulder shrugs. That's about the only time they really should kick in. So if they're kicking in, it means one of two things. One is your form is just bad. Two is there's too much resistance on there, causing those muscles to kick in to help you out. Or three, you're fatigued and those muscles are kicking in to help you out. So if you're going through sets and reps and all of a sudden you realize like you started out fine and now you're just shrugging up these shoulders as you're doing it, that indicates that basically your muscles are tired and you need to give it a break. So it's probably a good time to stop in the set or, take a break from that and come back to it again. So as I'm doing a row, I'm trying to work on my upper back and the back part of the arms as I'm pulling back straight this way. So as I pull back, I'm trying to pinch my shoulders together, work on those retractors of the scapulas and get those stronger. So that's one exercise you could do with this. The second one I like to go right into is I can go right into pulling straight back this way. And again, working some of the lats, working your triceps a little bit in there as well. So with both of these exercises, I can easily do this to compensate. I'm not helping myself too much. With the row, I can easily do this if I'm getting tired or not paying attention to my form. So you're always trying to keep those shoulder blades down to engage the proper muscle as you're doing that. What's nice about this setup is I can turn right around and do a chest fly. So I can take my arms out to the side here and I can pull straight in and work the chest that way. And then I can come right in here and also do a chest press. So again, lots of versatility with these bands. I didn't have to change position and do about 4 or 5 or maybe even 6 different exercises. I can come back here again and work on a reverse chest fly and work the upper back, pulling straight back this way. So there's lots of different things you can do. Depending on the angle I change, I can do pull downs, I can do lat pull downs. If I have it lower down, I can do front raises again from there. And again, the angle does make a big difference because if I don't have the right angle, I'm not going to get the right resistance pull. And then as I mentioned before, along with the handles, most of these sets all come with another device that goes in the door. So if you don't have a setup like I do, or you don't have a high banister or high leg to tie off or wrap around, then most of the sets will come with this that goes through the door. So as this goes through the door, what you're doing is taking this, putting this through the door, closing the door, and now it's secure in there. So now I can work on those same couple of exercises I was doing. I can go straight back, I can work on the rows, I can turn around and do all the other exercises that I just demonstrated here with chest flies and chest press and all the other things that I was doing. And if I take that and hide it, slide it up higher on the door, I can do pull downs from there. So lots of versatility, great ways to do exercises, great ways to get resistance on your body and upper body. So go work out your arms.